Hola mi gente, MsMalcolmHughes here. Welcome back. Today we are going to be talking about the new books that I have in my collection, and man, oh man, are they some heavy hitters. Let's get into it. We're gonna do it in no particular order, but I'm excited for all of them, and as you all continue to watch, you will completely understand why. So first up, we have a newbie, and that is A Love Song for Ricky Wilde by Tia Williams. And as you all can see, this one was signed. I'm so mad that I didn't know that she was gonna be here. So I didn't get to go to the event, but I still was able to get some signed copies from the bookstore. And so let's talk about what this one is about. I've been trying to see Tia Williams for a minute to get my books signed. And so I'm still going to have to see her again at some point, whether at a book fair or if she goes for her next book, if she goes on another tour, because you'll see in a little bit. I got one of her other books, but I already have that book, and I have that book in hardcover, and the bookstore only had it in paperback for a signed copy. But I'll show you that in a minute. For this one, here's the description. This book just came out earlier this month, so this is a very new release. And also, as you can see, the cover, it's been everywhere. It's stunning. It's beautiful. I love the pastels. So here we go. One florist, one pianist, one love story, 100 years in the making. Ricky Wilde has many talents, but being a Wilde isn't one of them. As the impulsive, artistic daughter of a powerful Atlanta dynasty, she's the opposite of her famous socialite sisters. Where their long-stemmed roses, she's a dandelion, an adorable bloom that's actually a weed born to float wherever the wind blows. In her bones, Ricky knows that somewhere a different, more exciting life awaits her. When a regal nonagenarian, Miss Della, invites her to rent the bottom floor of her Harlem brownstone, Ricky jumps at the chance for a fresh beginning. She leaves behind her family, wealth, and chaotic romantic decisions to realize her dream of opening a flower shop in New York City. And just beneath the surface of her new neighborhood, the music, stories, and dazzling drama of the Harlem Renaissance still simmers. One evening in February, as the heady, curiously off-season scent of night bloom and jasmine fills the air, Ricky encounters a handsome, deeply mysterious stranger who knocks her world off balance in the most unexpected way. Set against the backdrop of contemporary Harlem in 1920s decadence, A Love Song for Ricky Wilde is a modern fairy tale of two passionate artists drawn to the magic and romance of New York, and whose lives are irreversibly linked. Listen, 7 Days in June is one of my all-time favorite books, and Tia wrote it. I didn't love so much the book, The Perfect Find. It was cute, but I preferred 7 Days in June so much more. But all of that to say, I am very, very, very excited to get into this one. It sounds like it should be a good time, and so we'll see. But this is one of the newest books to my collection. I actually just went and picked it up today. So that is A Love Song for Ricky Wilde by Tia Williams. Next up, we have the book that the film American Fiction, which has been getting a lot of critical and cultural acclaim, is based on, and that is Erasure by Percival Everett. And here's the description. Thelonious Monk Ellison's writing career has bottomed out. His latest manuscript has been rejected by 17 publishers, which stings all the more because his previous novels have been critically acclaimed. He sees on the sideline of the literary establishment as he watches the meteoric success of Weeze Lives in the Ghetto, a first novel by a woman who once visited some relatives in Harlem for a couple of days. Meanwhile, Monk struggles with real family tragedies. His aged mother is fast succumbing to Alzheimer's, and he still grapples with the reverberations of his father's suicide 7 years before. In his rage and despair, Monk dashes off a novel meant to be an indictment of Juanita Mae Jenkins' bestseller. He doesn't intend for My Pathology to be published, let alone taken seriously, but it is, under the pseudonym Stag Art Lee. And soon it becomes the next big thing. How Monk deals with the personal and professional fallout galvanizes this audacious, hysterical, and quietly devastating novel. I did enjoy the movie. I'm really excited to read the book. I heard that this is much more serious than the film, and the film was serious, but it was a lot of comedic elements. So I'm excited to see the direction he actually took the book. And based on the cover, it's not a game. Y'all, we going back to back with the books I'm super excited to have in my collection. So the next one you all will remember from my January most anticipated releases, and that is Madness by Antonia Hilton. I had to have this one on my shelves. I had to. Let me tell y'all how serious it was for me to get this book. As I told you all before, I had a leg injury recently and I was laid up for a few weeks and I wasn't able to make her event because of it. But I called the bookstore beforehand and I was like, can you all please get her to sign a copy and send it to me? And they did. And so this is once again another signed copy. I'm really big, so y'all don't know this, but I'm planning to buy a house this year and build my library finally. So I'm so excited. I'm really trying to get a lot of signed copies of books that I love. And so that's been the journey. That's really what I'm looking for these days. I'm excited for the library to come together. But until we get there, we're just going to keep collecting and getting ready. And so here's the description of Madness. A page-turning 93-year history of Crownsville Hospital, one of the nation's last segregated asylums. On a cold day in March of 1911, officials marched 12 black men into the heart of a forest in Maryland. Under the supervision of a doctor, the men were forced to clear the land, pour cement, lay bricks, and harvest tobacco. When construction finished, they became the first 12 patients of the state's hospital for the Negro insane. For centuries, black patients have been absent from our history books. Madness transports readers behind the brick walls of a Jim Crow asylum. In Madness, Peabody and Emmy Award-winning journalist Antonia Hilton tells the 93-year history of Crownsville Hospital, one of the last segregated asylums with surviving records and a campus that still stands to this day in Anne Arundel County, Maryland. She blends the intimate tales of patients and employees whose lives were shaped by Crownsville with a decade worth of investigative research and archival documents. Madness chronicles the stories of black families whose mental health suffered as they tried, and sometimes failed, to find safety and dignity. Hilton also grapples with her own family's experiences with mental illness and the secrecy and shame that it produced for generations. As Crownsville Hospital grew from an antebellum-style work camp to a tiny city sitting on 1,500 acres, the institution became a microcosm of America's evolving battles over slavery, racial integration, and civil rights. During its peak years, the hospital's wards were overflowing with almost 2,700 patients. By the end of the 20th century, the asylum faded from view as prisons and jails became America's new focus. In Madness, Hilton traces the legacy of slavery to the treatment of black people's bodies and minds in our current mental health care system. It is a captivating and heartbreaking meditation on how America decides who is sick or criminal and who is worthy of our care or irredeemable. I told y'all originally this one's probably gonna make me cry, probably gonna piss me off, but I'm excited to read it. I think it's super important and valuable work. I live here in the DMV, so the fact I've been to Arundel a number of times, so the fact that that is this close is mind-boggling to me, and I'm excited and looking forward to learning that history. All right, this next one, again, I got to go see this author recently here in DC, and the book is My Friends by Hisham Matar. Let's get into it. I like that you don't really know what's going on from the cover. It's kind of like a city map with all the pieces interconnecting to this one person, so I think that's neat. But here's the description. A luminous novel of friendship, family, and the unthinkable realities of exile from the Booker Prize nominated and Pulitzer Prize winning author of The Return. The trick time plays is to lull us into the belief that everything lasts forever. And although nothing does, we continue inside our dream. One evening, as a young boy growing up in Benghazi, Khalid hears a bizarre short story read aloud on the radio about a man being eaten alive by a cat and has the sense that his life has been altered forever. Obsessed by the power of these words and by their enigmatic author, Hossam Zoa, Khalid eventually embarks on a journey that will take him far from home to pursue a life of the mind at the University of Edinburgh. There, thrust into an open society that is light years away from the world he knew in Libya, Khalid begins to change. In London, he attends a protest against the Gaddafi regime, only to watch it explode into tragedy. In a flash, Khalid finds himself injured, clinging to life, and unable to leave Britain, much less return to the country of his birth. To even tell his mother and father back home what he has done, on tapped phone lines, would expose them to danger. When a chance encounter in a Paris hotel brings him face to face with Hossam Zoa, the author of the fateful short story, Khalid is subsumed into the deepest friendship of his life. It is a friendship that not only sustains him, but eventually forces him, as the Arab Spring erupts, to confront agonizing tensions between revolution and safety, family and exile, and how to define his own sense of self against those closest to him. A devastating meditation on friendship and family, and the ways in which time tests and frays these bonds. My Friends is an achingly beautiful work of literature by an author working at the peak of his powers. What a word. What a word. I'm so looking forward to this. I am someone who highly values my friendships and the impact and role that they've played on my life. And so just listening to him speak about his work and where he was coming from, what he hopes the work will speak to, I'm excited to get into this one. This next one, wait till I show y'all the cover. A heavy hitter for sure. A prize-winning book for sure. They did that last year, took home one of the big ones, and I am talking about Prophet Song, the 2023 Booker Prize winning book by Paul Lynch. I actually got to see him speak yesterday here in DC, and that means that I got what? An autographed copy of this work. Yes, absolutely. I'm so excited to have this one. Yesterday I was like, do I feel like going out of the house? But you know, books are going to get me out the house every time. And so I knew that if I had the opportunity to go get this signed work and I didn't, I'd probably regret it later. So I did it. We have it. Let's read the description. On a dark, wet evening in Dublin, scientist and mother of four, Eilish Stack answers her front door to find the GNSB on her step. Two officers from Ireland's newly formed secret police are here to interrogate her husband, a trade unionist. Ireland is falling apart, caught in the grip of a government turning toward tyranny. As the life she knows and the one she loves disappear before her eyes, Eilish must contend with the dystopian logic of this new, unraveling Ireland. How far will she go to save her family? And what or who is she willing to leave behind? Exhilarating, terrifying, and surprisingly intimate, Prophet Song is a work of breathtaking originality, offering a devastating vision of societal collapse and a deeply human portrait of a mother's fight to hold her family together. Again, the Booker Prize is no small feat, so I'm definitely looking forward to this work. Hearing him speak about it yesterday and just the faith that he has in this work and just hearing him speak about it so passionately, but then also coming from a place of saying, I really hope that it's good, was just, you know, a nice juxtaposition. So I'm excited to read it. A lot of folks there who had already read it and were asking questions really felt like it captured the moment that we're in, not for Ireland, but just across the world. A lot of countries are feeling this angst of like, where are we headed as nations? Where are we headed as the world? And so I'm excited to get into this one for sure. All right, so this next one here, one of my all-time favorite books. I was finally able to get a signed copy, and that is 7 Days in June by Tia Williams. If you don't know, you should know. I love this book. I have a full review of this book up on the channel. I also have this book in hardcover. I wish that I could have gotten that one signed. So Tia Williams, if you see this, I'm really trying to get my book signed. So hopefully I'll be able to catch her at a book event in the future. But I'm excited still to have it, even in paperback, to have it signed. And so I do like my books personalized, so again, in the future. But the fact that I was able to get one of my all-time favorite books signed makes me happy. Another reason I left the house today. It's all rainy and dreary here in DC, but you gotta do what you gotta do for the books when you love them. And here's the description. 7 days to fall in love, 15 years to forget, and 7 days to get it all back again. Eva Mercy is a single mom and best-selling erotica writer who is feeling pressed from all sides. Shane Hall is a reclusive, enigmatic, award-winning novelist who, to everyone's surprise, shows up in New York. When Shane and Eva meet unexpectedly at a literary event, sparks fly, raising not only their buried traumas, but the eyebrows of the Black literati. What no one knows is that 15 years earlier, teenage Eva and Shane spent one crazy, torrid week madly in love. While they may be pretending not to know each other, they can't deny their chemistry, or the fact that they've been secretly writing to each other in their books through the years. Over the next 7 days, amidst a steamy Brooklyn summer, Eva and Shane reconnect. But Eva's wary of the man who broke her heart and wants him out of the city so her life can return to normal. Before Shane disappears, though, she needs a few questions answered. With his keen observations of creative life in America today, as well as the joys and complications of being a mother and a daughter, 7 Days in June is a hilarious, romantic, and sexy as hell story of two writers discovering their second chance at love. Cute. So adorable. I love this book. Y'all know I felt the ending was a little rushed, but other than that, it's really great. And so I also have a number of recent videos that have been up on the channel. Check those out. Check out my February reads. More reviews are coming. As always, I am MsMalcolmHughes, one who believes that books are sometimes better than people. And until the next one, please remember to give time, to be kind to each other, and to have the very best day of your life on purpose. Peace. O dabo. Adios. Ciao.